I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your feeder flash for Wednesday, July the 31st, where it looks like fats are going to be higher again. We've already seen some confirmed sales higher. We knew that these packers were short bought coming into this week. They haven't been buying a lot. They've been slaughtering a pretty high rate, and they haven't been lining any cattle up for the 2 to 4 week delivery the last several weeks whenever they're buying their negotiated sales. So we knew that your feeders were in a good position coming into this week, but still impressive on a Tuesday when they sell a fairly significant number of cattle at a higher price, and it makes you feel good about the rest of the week when the board really hasn't been all that favorable. But let's look at the board on Tuesday. August live cattle futures were down 55 cents at 108.10. October down 37 at 109.07. August feeder cattle bounced back some, up 80 cents on Tuesday at 143.10, and September up 122 at 144.05. Your grains have been slightly lower early this week, not a bunch, but they've continued to back off, and we probably won't see them do a whole lot until we see that big grain report here in a couple of weeks. But the fat cattle trade, we did have some trade. Iowa sold about 2,200 head at 183 to mostly 185. Nebraska about 2,300 head, all at 185. That's sure one, and in spots $2 higher. Texas even had 3 loads of cattle at 185 dressed delivered, and you don't see that happen very often, but pretty good trade there. And I think there was a lot more trade than that, but that's what we have confirmed on Tuesday. So pretty good sales there. What are we thinking? Maybe in the Southern Plains, 113 maybe. I'm sure they will be priced at least there. They're probably priced higher than they're hoping to get the 113. But let's talk about a fat cattle auction. Stockman's Livestock in Yankton, South Dakota. I've been wanting to get their information for quite a while here. We're getting some quotes out of there on Cattle Market Central now. Stockman sold fat cattle on Tuesday from 113.5 up to 118.85. You know, some of those higher prices over 116. A lot of those were drug-free cattle or non-hormone cattle. But look at this one long string of fat heifers there at Stockman's in Yankton. 252 fat heifers. I call them commodity fat heifers. I mean, the quality was all there. I mean, they're going to grade nice and everything, but they didn't have any programs on them. 252 head of heifers, weighed 1,260 pounds at 115.75. They're in the ring at Stockman's in Yankton. Your box beef cutout values, evidently maybe they did bottom out last week like they normally do or seasonally do, annually do, but we're seeing them pop back up a little bit this week. Your choice cuts on Tuesday afternoon, 214.03, up 77 cents. Your selects at 191.13, up 137. Still got a choice select spread of almost $23, 22.90, and that's the widest record for the widest it's been this particular time of the year. Let's talk a little bit more. I know we talked on our last visit about Beyond Beef, but I got shared a Twitter video that come out on Tuesday there. It's from Adam Johnson, who I'm not really, I don't know who that is. I guess I'm not familiar with him, I should say. He does a tweet there called Walk and Talk. It's hashtag Walk and Talk there. And if you guys want to follow him, I don't know, I was impressed with this video that he did, but he talked about your Beyond Meat and said that it is just astronomically overpriced. He said actually the value of it in relation to what the stock price is 100 times that of Tyson Meats. That's unbelievable if you balance it out that way. But Beyond Meat, the stock price is trading 60 times sales, and that's just unbelievable. That's your largest anyway publicly traded fake meat or fake product, alternative plant-based product that we have, at least publicly traded here in the United States. It's the largest, trading 60 times its sales on a stock price. In relation, you look at Tyson Meats, it's the largest real meat producer, and it trades at 0.6 times sales. So just think about that for a little bit. He even mentioned the S&P 500, you can trade stocks on it. It's only trading at 1.6 times sales. So it's astronomically overpriced. It's just a mirage. And now that they're going to be offering more shares of it, in fact, your board and your CEO are going to be getting rid of a lot of shares there, wanting to get some real money out of that deal before the house of cards falls. And those of you that are thinking about investing in that, please don't. Those of you that are need to take a look at this and just anything that's just trading that high. It's just a big cloud up there, a balloon that's fixing to pop. And you know, it's to think about it, how they've got their manufacturing is so small compared to all these packing plants that's scattered all over the country. They're wanting to come in and take a bite out of those sales. They're hoping to maybe get to 10% of sales. How in the world are they going to do it? They've struck some deals with a lot of these trendy restaurants and things, but are they going to be able to supply anything that they might need there, you know, even if they just had a small percentage of their customers ask for that? Are they going to be able to fulfill that? Probably not. And I think the cape is being pulled back off of this fake steer, like their logo is, that still pisses me off every time I see it. But they're going to show them for what they really are, and it's just a mirage. Let's talk about your feeder cattle market, your real-time index on Cattle Market Central late in the day on Tuesday, sitting at 139.93, almost 140 based on an 800-pound steer. That's up 23 cents from late Monday there. But you look at your Tuesday sales for Wednesday's report here. One of your big sales we look at, Ozarks Regional Stockyards, West Plains, Missouri, 3,000 head on offer there. Dan Hill called the yearling feeders steady to firm. He called the calves kind of uneven, and it had a lot to do with whether they were weaned or not, the condition of them. You know, it's hot this time of year, and it just kind of depends on what everybody's thinking of them. Look at this report from Cattle Market Central, and you see how diversified that offering is and how spread out it is over all the different weights. That's what you get in southern Missouri this time of year. Yeah, there's some hard yearling feeders there. There's some new crop calves. They're still sprinkling some old croppers in there that don't have a lot of weight to them. There's every kind of quality. There's every kind of distinction in there. But you can go there and get a load of about anything you want, any class, any kind, any quality. And that's just the way it is at West Plains there at Ozarks Regional Stockyards. But look at this particular quote on a big long string of hard yearlings. 116 head of 928-pound steers in West Plains brings 129.85. Let's talk about Fredonia, Kansas. That's a good sale on a Tuesday there. But they're going to have a whale of a sale next week. They've been having some pretty decent sales along here, but they're kind of ganging up for next week, talking maybe 4,000 head. Be a big sale for them, big sale for anybody, but having a lot of those grass yearlings next week. And Brad even mentioned that he's going to have several weaned calves, so that's a good place to get your order in there. But check out these 233 head. Commodity cattle, yes. They're good enough to go anywhere, but the kind of three-colored cattle, probably 75% black here, the balance of them being reds and Charolais. Did see a few mousy-colored Chars on there. Those aren't, people aren't excited to get those, but didn't see any rat tails on the deal. And yes, I was watching there online, and Brad hollered at me over the computer, and I tried to message him, but couldn't get that to work. But 233 head of steers, weighed 880 at 137.85. A little bit before that, they had one straight load of 915-pound fancy black steers, bring $140 smooth. So pretty good market there, and don't forget their big sale next week there in Fredonia. Also, we want to talk about some Kansas happenings going on this weekend. Don't forget all the activities that are going on in south central Kansas there. Pratt's going to have a huge sale on Thursday, looking at 7,000 head. they're going to have a Friday High Plains video there in Dodge City. All those auctioneers for the King of the Ring auctioneer contest are going to be coming in on Friday. Saturday, they're looking at 9,000 head of cattle at Winter Livestock, Dodge City, Kansas. If you're not watching on Cattle USA, you need to get there. I'm going to be there. I'm excited to go. I've been there and graded cattle. I've done CME deliveries at Dodge City. I've never actually been to the sale there. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to seeing all my auctioneer friends and a lot of guys from the industry that'll be there for that big event. Let's talk about Philip the Giant. They had their anniversary barbecue special on Tuesday right here on dvauction.com, or you could have watched them on nationalbeefwire.com also, as I mentioned on the previous visit. But 4,000 head for their anniversary sale, and you think, well shoot, Philip can have 3 times that many. Well yeah, they do seasonally, but they still have their summer barbecue special. But you look at the report here, and you can see they had a mixture. And it was noted on the market report. They did a good job on the federal state market report there, but they had a mixture of cattle there. They had grass cattle, green grass yearlings coming off. Then they had some backgrounded cattle, had calves that had been long time weaned. They had some calves that were short weaned, and it's kind of a mix and kind of a variation in your price ranges and accordingly on your averages. But look at your best tested weights there on steers. 472 head of 760 pound steers on the average of your 7 weights, and they bring 143.56 for the weighted average price. 576 head of 8 weight steers averaged 855 at 141.01 on the average, but I'm going to give you some deals that run a whole lot more than that on your 8 weights on those green yearlings. Look at the heifers. 603 head of 8 weight heifers averaged 862 at 135.39. Now that's impressive on those yearling heifers. Look at a couple of them individual quotes out of Philip. 91 head of calves, steer calves weighed 542 at 180.50, and then they had 4 loads of 860 pound steers that bring 149.50. Now that would be a long ways higher than most of them. But that's your feeder flash for Wednesday.